Hey everybody, good morning. It is bright, sunny, 8:36 in the morning on the 5th of May, 2021. I'm going to be here doing an update on the cryptocurrency atmosphere. We're going to be taking a look at Bitcoin, Litecoin, Ethereum, DOGE. I want to take a look at a lot of different cryptos right now. For a number of reasons. What I'm really interested in is I'd like to find a few hidden gems that haven't gone completely parabolic. We've seen a lot of really good momentum on things like Bitcoin Cash, which is currently trading at almost $1,200. We've got, of course, Bitcoin trading at $55,000. We've got, let's see here, what else do we have that's been going crazy? You know, aside from Doge, which, of course, Doge is trading at about 66 cents after, I think, topping out around 75. You've got Litecoin, which is currently trading at $337. You know, nobody's talking about that. So what I want to do, again, I want to take a look at a lot of different cryptos. I want to start with Bitcoin and just kind of go from there. And we're going to take a look at a lot of different things. So thanks for joining me today. Glad to have you here. If you need access to our Discord, there's a link in the video description to get access to either the community or insured area or access to the indicator that I use in all of my trading. Okay, so let's go ahead and move into the live scene. All right. So again, I said that I would start with Bitcoin. So let's go ahead and go there. BTC USD, taking a look at this. Let's see here. All right. So I've got sort of a clean chart here that I'm looking at. Let me go on to log scale because this is, you know, a pretty big move. So from here, what a lot of people are doing is counting this as the first wave, and then we have a little bit of a little correction here. So like if that's the case, and I know I've covered this before, so if you are a repeat watcher, I apologize if I'm just kind of recovering the same thing. I'm taking my dominant pivot low. We're going to take this high, get the pullback, and basically we all but hit our upside target. Okay, so right there, the upside target was at about 65,790, and you know it is reasonable to expect that we would get a little bit of a front run there. You know, 56,790, and where did we actually get? We got pretty close, right? So 56,790, and we got to 64,895. So within $1,000. And when you're talking about prices as high as they are, $1,000 really isn't a whole heck of a lot. So from here, you know, we're in a corrective phase. There's no doubt about that. Now our ultimate upside target, again, let me throw the 2618 on here. I've got it removed right there, the 2618. Our ultimate upside target, it's going to be sitting there at $213,000. Now, are we going to hit that this year? That's a fantastic question. If this is, in fact, an impulse, I would expect this wave 4 to last a whole heck of a lot longer than people expect. So I'm just exercising some caution here because what we could be in the middle of creating is something a little bit like this. So an expanding diagonal. So this can be seen as a pretty bullish continuation pattern. But what does that mean that the price of Bitcoin would do? Well, let's just go ahead and outline the path here. Possible, we see Bitcoin make a new high, and then people get very, very bullish at about $70,000. Then it comes down to about $42,000, $43,000 before it finally does make its way up to that target. It's going to take a long time. And by this projection, this takes us to basically the end of 2021. So are you prepared to hang on for dear life? It's not hold, it's hang on for dear life. Are you prepared to hang on for the next 8 months, 7 months, and hold on through this turbulence? It may look so simple right now, but it is going to be you know, not as simple to work through here, because again, if this is a nice little 1, 2, 3, 4, and I would say this looks like a wave 4 right here, just some sideways boring movement, and then we go up for the 5. We do that retest for the wave 2. Then we're up here on wave 3 territory. So again, Maybe we will hit that 1618 at the top of this wave 4, then we come down to the bottom of the wave 4, right? Because we're expanding, right? We've got a low, a higher high, a lower low, going for another higher high, then potentially another lower low before it does expand to the upside. I'm very bullish on crypto. I'm very bullish on gold and silver and a lot of these things that are considered a quote-unquote store of value. Reason why? Because we're looking at these compared to the US dollar. I don't care if you're in Germany. I don't care if you're in Czechoslovakia. Most of us value Bitcoin against the US dollar. And so you have to pay attention to what's happening to the US dollar, because when the US dollar is devalued, all of these assets are going to appreciate in value. Heck, look at lumber, of all things. It's been going absolutely parabolic because of construction. Construction is increasing. The housing market's in a bubble. You have to pay attention to all of the underlyings. And in this case, we're looking at the US dollar. That's the reason why things are appreciating in value at the rate that they are. So again, I believe we are going to see much, much higher prices on Bitcoin. And what's going to happen to altcoins in the meantime? Well, we're gonna pay attention to that. So what I want to do, I'm going to take a look at altcoins, and I want to pay attention to their BTC value. All right, I'm going to go to a weekly time frame here. We're going to pay attention to these against their BTC pair. And the reason why I'm focusing on their BTC pair is due to the fact that Bitcoin has appreciated so much in value. These altcoins may look overvalued, but we need to take a look at their underlying Bitcoin pairing. And a really great example is Lumens. Well, let's take a look at Lumens versus Tether. All right, this looks fantastic. Lumens making new highs. Lumens making new highs. Okay, but what does its Bitcoin pair look like? What does the Bitcoin pair look like? XLM BTC. What does this look like? This looks very, very, very much undervalued. Okay, now I don't know if you guys were around, but back when we were seeing Lumens in this range, it sat here for about, I don't know, a year. It sat in this range between 3,000 and 5,000. It sat in that range for a better part of a year. And back at the time, everybody was like, oh, this is a bull flag. It's going to break out and it's going to go to new highs. Well, what ended up happening is it bled, and now we're sitting basically back where it launched. Lots of accumulation that was going on here. It was in a week-long squeeze for a long time, and it's back in a squeeze again. I think Lumens is a good buy for longer term. I think Lumens is going to be something that does go up significantly. I believe that it can go at least to 2100, right? So at least up here, and I'm looking at this support and this support. So at a minimum, I would expect this to do some kind of a bearish retest. Not that I think it's going to go and make new lows. I don't think that's in the cards. But for right here, I do think that it probably will find some price agreement before it finally does continue. Now, where is it going to continue to? You know, your guess is as good as mine. But if I had to come up with some zone that it's going to land, I would say it's probably going to find some price agreement still inside of this same trading range. Okay, and that again is at about 3150 to 4500, right? So again, we did this exercise on a video that we did a couple of days ago. And I'm going to do the same exercise here. I'm going to bring up my calculator, right? So Lumens versus Bitcoin at 1,032 Satoshis. So we're going to take the price of Bitcoin, which is at 55,300, times 0.00001034. Whoops. Let me do that right. 55,300 times 0.00001035. Okay? So Lumens is about 57 cents. And we can agree that that was the USD price of Lumens, right? So let me just pull this down so that we can see the chart and everything. All right. So now we're talking about this guy coming up here to 2,000, right? That's going to be basically double where it's at right now. So 55,300 times 0.00002. All right. So that's going to be $1.10. All right. So that's basically doubling its value, assuming Bitcoin doesn't change at all. And we know that the price of Bitcoin is going to fluctuate. We have a bullish bias. So if Bitcoin does happen to make its way up to that 65,000, 70,000 mark, while at the same time Lumens versus Bitcoin is appreciating in value. Not only are you gaining alpha, you're gaining beta. So you're gaining your Lumens BTC value, you're gaining your USD value, you're gaining more Bitcoin value as well. And that's the whole reason that alts exist. Regardless of what anybody has told you, the whole reason that alts exist is to accumulate more Bitcoin. That's the whole reason that they exist. Now, maybe not for retail. People are probably just buying and selling alts in retail markets, but the reason why alts exist is to accumulate Bitcoin. That's why there's a Bitcoin pair to begin with. Bitcoin controls the market. The goal is to accumulate more Bitcoin. Well, ideally, the goal is to earn more US dollar, but the bigger players are in it to earn more Bitcoin. Okay? And the way that they do that is they spend a lot of time accumulating down here. They are accumulating, they have lots and lots and lots of money, way more than you or I have. So they can move the markets. They can do things like this, but they don't want to. They want to accumulate as much as they can, right? By buying, pushing the price up, selling, buying, selling, go a little bit lower, buy again, go a little bit higher, sell, a little bit lower, final accumulation phase. Then we're working on our final move up here, and more than likely it is going to find its way up here. I all but guarantee that that's what's going to happen. I'm not making any guarantees, but I believe that since most other alts are seeing this rise against their Bitcoin pair, that Lumens, just as one example, is one of those. Now, I'm not saying to take all of your money and put it in Lumens. That is not what I'm saying, right? I'm not going to ever tell you what to buy on my YouTube videos. But what I can say is if you diversify, you are probably going to, quote unquote, hit the hit the jackpot, if you will, on at least one or two of these guys. Now, if you were around in 2017, you know what happens, right? Things are going to just go parabolic out of nowhere. You're going to have little to no notice that it's going to happen. So we look for things like this. This is why we bought Doge at 15 to 17 Satoshis. That's the whole reason why we did it. Because it was in a very long accumulation phase, and I made the decision in November, we're going to buy Doge. We're going to buy it, and we're going to hold it. We're going to hold it for, and I believe I said a few months. At the time, I said it has a good opportunity to 2 or 3x. Little did I know that it's gone up like 10,000%. But anyway, water under the bridge. So Lumens is in that same accumulation phase, although it has started to have these sporadic movements, marking the end of accumulation and the beginning of a markup. We are in a markup phase now. Okay? You still have a lot of people that are selling here because you have a lot of people that bought down here. So they've doubled their monies because, we came down here to in the 400s and now it's at 1,000. So, double your money. That's not bad. You can double it again if I had to guess. And it's more than likely going to happen in the next couple months. So you're going to have to be patient, but this is one that I believe is going to have a decent risk to reward. Because, it may come back down here to 683, but look at the upside potential. Again, let's just go ahead and measure this. So even if you bought right now, which isn't really a great place to buy, you are risking 36%, which is a lot, but your reward for that first target is 100%. So that's almost 3 to 1. But what I would be looking for is a move up here, which is going to be at about 200 to 205%, to 3,200. That's what I'm going to be looking for. Now that's a 5.62 to 1 ratio. That's not bad. I like that. Let's keep on looking. I want to find some things that look really, really good from an accumulation standpoint. Things that haven't gone up. Let me give you an example of what's not good to buy today. What's not good to buy today? This is not something that you buy. Again, we bought this in November. It was between 15 and 17. It was down here, accumulation phase. Okay? Then what happened? It exploded. And then what happened? It accumulated at 5 cents. That's right here at about 100 Satoshis. Right? It accumulated here. And then what happened? It exploded again. But this is not something that I would be a new buyer in. Right? We want to find things that are down here, not things that have gone exponentially higher. Another good example of what not to buy today. I'm going to make a guess that Ethereum versus Bitcoin, sorry, Ethereum Classic is, and it is, it's already making a big move up. Now, of course, the best place to be buying was back here. Obviously, I mean, hindsight's 2020, right? You know, your eyes work just as good as mine. You can see that this was a bottom. We had a squeeze on the weekly. We had good accumulation area here for a long time. We had our big accumulation candle and the pullback back to this range, and then we had the explosion to the upside. That's happened over the last 6 or 7 weeks. This is, again, something that I would not be interested in buying. Is there more upside potential? Sure. We're at 13,600. Okay? What's our upside potential? I mean, to get to all-time high, I mean, that is another 141%. That is significant. But in my opinion, this boat has kind of sailed from a good risk to reward standpoint. If you were to buy here, which is basically at prior resistance and prior support, again, you can see this right here, right there, prior support, prior resistance, it's right there right now. The likelihood that we get a little bit of a pullback is very high. Maybe if we pull back down to maybe 10,800, that might be you know, a good place to be to try for trying a trade somewhere down here in this range, because again, we're looking at this candle, we're looking at these candles, we're looking at this support, so very likely that this guy is going to stage a little bit of a bullish pullback, maybe a bullish retest before it goes up a little bit higher. But I would like to see a flip of support and resistance before entering. Right now, you're just chasing, and I wouldn't do that. Okay, so I'm going to take a look at a few different alts, and I said that I would take a look at Lumens, which I have. I'm going to take a look at Cardano now. So I have been holding Cardano since January. And for right now, I'm going to continue holding. Well, one, because I think the crypto market in general is going to be doing very, very well. Two, I think that Cardano has the potential to go back to 6,000 or 7,000. So that's up here in this cluster. And more than likely, the price agreement was right here. So more than likely, it's going to find its way up here between 5,200 and 6,000. We're at 2,500 right now. So we're talking about, what is that, like 130, 140% from where we're at right now. Again, just on a Bitcoin value alone. To the bottom, there's 108%. To the top, there's 143%. Okay? So again, good upside potential on Cardano, but is it something that I would be interested in buying right now? So let's look at Cardano versus Tether. So we are pushing more highs, right? So I have said for a long time that we're going to go to, I think it was like $1.68. Let me just measure this again from this bottom, which was at like 2 cents, less than 2 cents, to this high. Here's our pullback. There it is. So our target to the upside is $2.50. That's for wave 3. Okay, because I always throw Elliott Wave on this, right? So we've got this 1, 2, and then we've got a nice 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 3, 4, 5 into the 3, pull back for the 4, probably to retest all of this cluster here, and then we're going to end up going higher. Cardano, like, we don't talk about it too much, but Cardano has such great potential for more upside, for some significant upside. So I'm still going to look at Cardano getting up to about $21. Right now it's at $1.38. $1.38. It is, I don't want to say overvalued, but the value is pretty high up there. I think it's got a little bit more upside, up to about $2.50. I'm going to be shaving off at least 50% of my holdings at $2.50. And if I'm right, I'll be able to reaccumulate right back here in this same area that we're at right now. Maybe even a little bit lower. Let's just say in a perfect world, reminds me of my physics teacher. He would say in a perfect physics world, X, Y, and Z would happen. Okay, so I'm going to go from this bottom, and in a perfect world, we hit that 1618. All right, we hit that 1618. And let me throw my template on here because I've got a template for Elliott Wave. All right, so there's the 382. Let's put the 236 on here. Where's that 236? It's right here at $1.10. Okay, in a strong market, that 236 for a wave 4 is where we'll go, and we'll be targeting that upside. You know, I tend to believe that this market is stronger. So again, I'm going to cut half at 250. I'm going to look to re-enter on that half down here at $1.10. I should be able to accumulate twice as many Cardano as I had when I sold. So if I sold 100 here, I should be able to buy at least 200 down here, and that's my plan. That's my plan to do that. Then, of course, I'm going to be taking a move up to, you know, the upside target, which again is going to go into probably November, December. It's going to be a long, long ways away. It's going to seem like forever, but it's going to be worth it, in my opinion. But we're going to continue to keep our eyes on these upside targets for taking profit, because if you never sell, then you never have any realized gains. And if you don't know when to sell or where to sell, then when are you going to sell? You're not just going to hold Cardano for the rest of your life. That's not, I hope that's not your goal. I hope your goal is to make money. And the only way you make money is by taking profit. Because otherwise, what goes up comes down. It's just the way it works. What goes up comes down. And Cardano will find its way back down, losing 90% of its value in a couple years. It's going to happen. This time is not different. It's never different. Market cycles are going to be existent in any market. Anyway, let's keep on going. I want to take a look at Band, because Band is at $19.75. Band versus Bitcoin. This guy is in a good accumulation phase, had a nice bullish retest here. I think Band has potential to make its way back up here. Now, again, let's just take a look at this. Dominant pivot low, right there. Dominant pivot high, right there. We came back to the 618. So naturally, one of the highest probability trades is buying at the 618 and selling at the negative 236. All right, so that means our upside potential, again, versus Bitcoin value, is that Band could continue to rise another 700%. Now, again, give it time, guys. Give it time. Give it time. But Band versus the US dollar. So again, we're taking a look at this right now. Let's pull out the calculator here. Here we go. Pulling out the calculator. So right now, Band is $19.73. All right, so Bitcoin, let me find it, 55,000. Now Bitcoin is 55,575 times our upside target, 0.00291348. $161, $162 for Band, which is currently trading at 20 bucks. That's significant, right? Again, that's 724%, assuming that Bitcoin doesn't move, assuming Bitcoin stays at 55,000. Again, I believe that Bitcoin has the potential to move higher, so this in particular is going to be moving much higher potentially, even higher than 161, assuming we hit that negative 236 target to the upside. This looks like a good trade, right? We're not much higher than where this was. So we were at 23,000 Satoshi. Now it's at 35,000 Satoshi. So yeah, you missed a little bit of that. But if we can push up and through that 34,800 level and close the weekly above it, that's very, very bullish to me. That's very bullish to me. I'm going to take a look at a couple others here. So let's see here. I want to take a look at BAT. I think BAT is past. No, BAT doesn't look that bad actually. So it's back in that same accumulation phase it was before. And typically in a market, what you have is when you have a big move in one direction and then a move back in the opposite direction. Generally speaking, it means it wants to continue moving in that second direction. So in this case, it's up. So we're at 2281. BAT versus Tether is at 127. It's very, very high. This reminds me a lot of Cardano, actually. This chart reminds me a lot of Cardano. Let's just go ahead and do this same measurement. I'm going to measure the dominant pivot low to dominant pivot high. Where did we pull back? We pulled back to the 50, which is a high probability bound zone for a wave 2. All right, for a wave 2. Now let's take a look. Our trend-based fib extension. Again, I'm going to pull it off over here to the right. Dominant pivot low, dominant pivot high, and then we do that pullback to that low right there. So it looks to me a lot like BAT is going to make its way up to about 282. But ultimately, I think BAT's going to make its way up to about $15. So I think a lot of these alts have so much more upside. Now, of course, anything can go down 90, 95% in value. But right now, my bias has to be bullish for continued moves to the upside, even if it's just a little bit. We're still talking about 100% on BAT to hit its target at 282. You know, a lot of these things, Bitcoin Cash, right? Here's another example. Bitcoin Cash is doing fabulous right now. But again, from this bottom to this top and this pullback, where's our upside target? Let's just take a look. Upside, and then the pullback. So we have all but, yeah, so we've hit the 1618, but I'm still looking for that move up to 2,500. I actually think Bitcoin Cash can make its way up to 3,500, but that's a discussion for another day. You know, this looks parabolic, right? And why is it called parabolic? Well, it's because we're creating a parabola here, right? So this is creating a parabolic move, and as long as we continue in this trend, I believe we're going to hit that upside target on Bitcoin Cash right there. So right there, 2,400, 2,500, I think that again is an area where I would be interested in selling half of my holdings on Bitcoin Cash, because once it gets there, even if you bought right now, you'd be doubling your money. So if you sold half when it got to that target, well, then what's happening? You are removing your original investment, and that trade is now free for you. Why would you not? Why would you not? Why would you keep it all in there and just continue to have that risk when you can de-risk yourself 100% because you are removing everything that you put in and leaving the rest as your quote-unquote moon bag? If you turn $500 into $1,000, well, chances are pretty good you can turn that 500 into 1,000 again if it just keeps on going. But really, can Bitcoin Cash go to $5,000? Probably. But would you continue to hold that risk? That's the question you have to ask yourself. I'm going to continue looking at other altcoins for the Discord server. I'm going to do that throughout the day. I'm going to go ahead and end the video because I've got to get ready for the traditional session, which is going to be starting here in the next 25 minutes or so. But I do appreciate you watching. Thanks for joining. If you have any questions at all, feel free to ask away in the Discord server. I will be here all day. And, you know, of course, wherever you are in the world, I hope you're having a good day, good night, and a good evening. Take care, everyone.